Welcome back, casual wrestling fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Casual Wrestle Podcast. I am your host, the Casual One, Casual Steve. Join with me today, we have Brandon and Mikey C giving us another loose change episode about the reactions for WrestleMania 38, night 2. Fellas, we got a lot to talk about.
We sure do, Steven. We sure do.
Absolutely. I agree. It was a great night. I think tonight the fans won. If anybody agrees with me, the fans won tonight. A lot of action, a lot of great matches. So there's a lot to get into.
Hands down. I couldn't agree more. This definitely was a big win for the fans. I think we got a good sports entertainment segment, or segments, I should say, and some decent wrestling. Definitely want to talk about this Edge and AJ Styles match. I think that was by far match of the night.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
You don't think that Pat McAfee and Vince was the match of the night? Come on.
Oh, that stunner was amazing, man. It was amazing. But let's start at the top.
Some would argue Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Just saying. Some would argue that. But I digress. Go ahead.
I feel you. Well, let's start at the top. Let's go, Mikey C. We were together night 1. We sat and we watched this guy. We watched this unfold in front of us. Night 2. How does that compare to night 1 for you?
I might be in the minority in this podcast. I enjoyed night 1 a little more, and I think because, again, I think I'm a little unfair because I'm obviously the biggest Cody Rhodes mark in the world, and the only thing I like more than redheads and tortellini is being right. And I was right about Cody Rhodes. He went off into the world, and he came back a megastar. This was his weekend, despite the fact, you could argue it was Steve Austin and Undertaker and Roman Reigns, but he put on the match of the weekend, in my opinion. And I thought the Becky Lynch-Bianca Belair match was better than pretty much any match tonight besides the Edge match. I liked night 1 more, but that's not to say I didn't like tonight's action. I thought night 2 was great. This WrestleMania tenfold exceeded all my expectations. But I got to give the slight edge to night 1. What do you guys think?
Let's go to Brandon on that. Night 2, man. How you feel about night 2 versus 1?
I think night two made night 1 look like an appetizer, to be honest. There was some good action, and I agree with Mike. Night 1 had some great action. Like, who didn't get goosebumps when they saw Cody Rhodes walk down that we some of us expected it, let's be honest, but it still didn't matter. When you saw him, it was crazy, right? You felt some kind of way. It was exciting to see him back. Bianca, she did great. Becky Lynch did excellent. That was, to me, besides Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, to me, that was the next greatest match of yesterday. But tonight was, I think I like the tempo of the night tonight. Yesterday was kind of methodic, kind of slow. You had some impact and some action here and there, but it wasn't a continuous flow. Tonight, I like how the lineup was set, and everybody kind of kept that same tempo of action. It's kind of thrilling all throughout the night. I won't say the matches were necessarily that much greater, but the tempo made everything tonight.
I'm gonna definitely agree with you on that. The tempo and the match spacing of night 2, in my opinion, was better than the match spacing and tempo of night 1. And I think that's what kind of put it over the edge for me, is that that's why I think night 2 definitely kind of delivered a little bit more, which is why I think, again, this was definitely a big win, like you said, for the fans.
Well, just to add on to that real quick, I think that our prediction yesterday, that we would see Dwayne Johnson prediction, I didn't cash that ticket tonight, but this was definitely a WWE show tonight. This was sports entertainment. Yesterday 100%. Was kind of paced like an indie show. Today was pure sports entertainment, up and down the card. Definitely felt more like a WWE show to me, and that's a compliment, I think. I really think it felt like WrestleMania tonight. tonight was like a WrestleMania. Yesterday was like a pretty good pay-per-view. Tonight was WrestleMania. I will agree to that.
Oh man, yeah, I gotta agree. Again, I gotta agree. And I think you put it perfectly, B, when you said yesterday was kind of like the appetizer. I think we got, like, you ever gone to a restaurant, you got a really good appetizer, you're like, man, like this is almost better than like the main course. But then the main course comes out and you're like, oh, well, they definitely did something here.
Yeah, absolutely. This is not the best WrestleMania ever, but
No,
it's by far not the worst. Everybody kind of showed up this year, and there's been years previous where people didn't show up. And despite some of the botches here and there in some matches, I still think everybody came with the mentality and the mindset, hey, this is WrestleMania. I'm going to try my hardest, and I'm going to try to show and prove. So I was impressed with the overall card of both nights and how everybody kind of carried themselves out. There could have been a little tweaks here and there, but I'm sure we'll talk about some of those things. But all in all, I'm not disappointed as I have been with some of the previous in the past WrestleManias.
awesome. Mikey, give me your high point. Give me your high point for night 2. What's your high point?
I mean, I think it's the potential Damian Priest Edge stable. I mean, first off, shout out to casual wrestler co-host TJ, who threw it into group chat before the match started. What a wonderful call by TJ. I'm jealous of the take. This is gonna get really freaking good, guys. This is gonna get really freaking good.
Does this not have a lot of angles?
Yeah, it can go 1,000 different ways, and that's what I think makes this exciting. Is it can go so many different ways. Edge being the legend that he is, Damian Priest being, a great wrestler himself. To me, when I saw what happened in the ending, I was thinking, like, is the WWE trying to form a different type of a new version of the Brood, which to me would be awesome. Because I thought the Brood in its time was cool. They could have did things a little differently, but I think if they're trying to form their own modern day version of it, this is one way you can look at it.
I had someone put in one of the pods that I follow in one of the chats that they weren't a fan because they felt like this was kind of a page kind of out of the Undertaker's book.
I don't know if I'll 1,000% agree with that, but I won't completely disagree with that.
I think we kind of need that Prince of Darkness still. I think we still kind of have that opening for that. I think Edge is probably the perfect person if you weren't going to have, the missed boat opportunity with, where we were just talking about him yesterday, Mike.
Bray Wyatt?
No.
That's who really is the dark guy, but they like that boat sale.
Absolutely. I can't remember his name. But anyway.
I just want to hop on this real quick. I don't agree with the Undertaker thing because I don't think this is a darkness gimmick. I don't think it's a macabre gimmick. I think it is a Edge worship thing. If anything, it's a little closer to Bray Wyatt than Undertaker. I think WWE likes some spooky stuff. If anything they've ever done, they just like some spooky stuff. And if we get a little spooky stuff out of this, I think this leads to a Finn Balor Edge feud. I think that's where we're going with this. We also have a draft coming up eventually. Maybe Edge finds himself back on SmackDown with this crew. But I'm super excited for Damian Priest because we were all disappointed. Why isn't he on the card tonight? Well, obviously they had a bigger plan. This was much bigger than if he would have had a 10-minute match and beat or lost to Finn Balor. I think this is putting Damian Priest in a prominent spot with a top guy, a tippy top guy. And I'm super interested to see where this goes. It obviously means Edge is going to be sticking around for the foreseeable future, which I'm super excited about.
Very, very excited about that. I got a small theory. I think, and for the record, Aleister Black was who I was talking about. They kind of missed the boat on that one.
I was texting you, Steven. I was good texting
you. But I definitely, I think they missed the boat with that piece. Now, I am again don't want to play, I want to play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think we're getting the stables? We're getting the legend wrestler with the up and comer because of the amount of that we've seen with AEW?
I think we've said this before, and I think this is what Josh said yesterday. And I'm sorry, I'm sure Brandon has an opinion about this, but I don't think AEW is really on Vince's radar. Now, did Edge look at AEW and say, you know what? If you give me some younger guys, I wouldn't put that past Edge. But as far as Vince McMahon for creative, first off, I think Edge pitches his own creative to Vince at this point. And maybe you could say that influenced Edge. But as far as Vince McMahon's not going, God damn, Jake the Snake is with the Murder Hawk monster. We got to put Edge with Damian Priest. That's not what happened. I say no. But did Edge go, hey, Christian's getting two young guys over right now just by being with them? I don't put that past Edge because Edge is a student of the game and he's, very smart. But I never even thought about Damian Priest and Edge being together. But and Brandon, please elaborate on this. Mm-hmm. They look really freaking good together.
They do.
What a presentation.
They absolutely do. Just to add to what you're saying, I totally agree with what you're saying right now. I don't think Vince is even really taking one look at what AEW is doing right now. But Damian Priest, Edge, to me, an exciting combo. It's a combo you don't expect, but works. I think they'll gel together really, really well, and it's a different look. This is going to actually catapult Damian Priest into a different stratosphere, but also it's going to keep Edge very relevant. We know Edge has been around for some time. He left because of injuries, had to retire, but he's back. And this is going to actually keep Edge very fresh. So I'm interested to see what the future holds for both of them. And if they add anybody else to the stable, this can become something great if the WWE actually takes time to groom this thing.
Absolutely. Let's keep our fingers crossed on that. Let's move on to real quick. Let's go Bobby and Omos.
I mean, what a great here. As previously reported, Steven, I said that this was going to be a very fun match. I think it really was fun. I think Omos didn't look like a chump. 2 back spears tonight. By the way, I just want to throw that out. Two back spears. Never is that now the new Canadian destroyer?
It is, right? We're gonna have to get rid of this move, man.
Hashtag back spear. But Omos looked formidable. The right guy won. Keeping Bobby, you gotta keep him strong, and they did. It was the perfect. It might have been 2 minutes too long, but I'm not going to bitch about that. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy both those guys. Omos needs work. I think nobody would deny that, but he looked like he was a professional wrestler tonight or a sports entertainer. He looked like he could belong in a wrestling ring tonight.
Agreed. And I'm gonna say it. This is the first time I've seen Omos, and I'm like, he almost looks like a wrestler.
I'd have to agree with both of you guys. I think the match was pretty good considering what they had to work with, right? So we know Omos is not that experienced. He's kind of limited with what he can do, but I think the WWE kind of made this a great match, showing off both individuals' brute strength, and it worked. Omos didn't look weak. Bobby didn't look weak. They both looked strong, and even with the finish, it was a fairly okay finish, but neither competitor looked like they were pansies. So I could respect the entire match. Like I said, nothing spectacular took place, but I didn't expect anything spectacular to take place. So I think they really handled this match well with the two monsters, and each competitor can go forward and still be a viable component for anybody.
Absolutely.
I don't think Omos loses anything by losing to a former world champion who is a beast in his own right. And again, it was he just kind of outlasted him. He beat him with his finish, which is really important. In the middle of the ring, no shenanigans. He just wasn't as good, and they could really. And again, Omos to come out tomorrow, beat two jobbers, and we're right where we were.
Exactly. We didn't lose any ground here. Absolutely. Johnny and Sammy, again, very fun match. I love the gimmicks. And again, this was sports entertainment. This was very entertaining.
It was a hilarious match. Not gonna lie. What I will say, and maybe you guys will agree with me, I do appreciate the celebrities actually showing up nowadays. I feel like Johnny showed up well, even though it was gimmicky, but he still showed up ready for action. You got Bad Bunny who shows up. We'll talk about Pat later, but Pat, just a lot of guys lately who've been celebs have shown up and actually taken their craft seriously. So my hat's off to all of these guys who are actually taking this serious and not just coming to get a paycheck. And I think that Johnny and Sammy did a great job tonight, and they told a good story. And it was the perfect type of style match for Johnny. I mean, he's from, Jackass, so it only made sense to be no holds bars, anything counts type of match. So, it's him coming from the extreme world of Jackass to having a no disqualification, no holds barred fight tonight. And it made sense. And they had every type of spot that made you either laugh or go, oh crap. So I think it was a perfect match tonight. Sammy did well. He sold everything well. And I was entertained by it. Like you guys said earlier tonight. Tonight was very much so a WWE show. It was very entertaining, and it did feel like WrestleMania. And this match alone, to me, presented a couple WrestleMania moments that could live forever, potentially.
Absolutely. Shout out Wee Man.
Wee Man, bro.
Slam.
Move of the weekend. Move of the weekend.
Yeah, man. Shout out.
That was a great moment, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Sami Zayn, dude. That's all I gotta say. Sami freaking Zayn. I think he's overlooked. As when people say the best in the industry, which hopefully we will get back to that, because I think our lists are all different now. In our discussion we had before, Sami Zayn made that look really. That match does not flow in the hands of a lesser wrestler, sports entertainer, or whatever you want to say. Agreed. He really kept that match flowing. He obviously laid it out. It was really well done. Knoxville, I'm not begging to see Johnny Knoxville wrestle again, but I'm glad that match happened. And I got to be honest with you, I don't think we're going to see too many BS celebrities anymore, because if you really look at these shows and you're a fan, you have to say to yourself, I have to freaking commit to this, because
I gotta take that bump.
They're taking bumps, man. Johnny Knoxville took legit bumps. This man had brain issues.
Yeah, man.
Obviously, he has brain issues, but I'm talking he had an injury.
Yeah, man. He had a cut over his. I think he had a cut right between his nose, where his goggles, I think, kind of got kicked into his face.
Yeah,
guys.
He did.
Guys, that's why you don't wear goggles in the ring, guys.
Very true.
That can happen very easily. I'm just saying that's why you don't wear glasses in the ring. That's why nobody wrestles in glasses. It is very easy to do that.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
That's true. That's a fact. I think the biggest part of this match was Party Boy making his appearance.
Now, the funny thing is, I don't watch Jackass, but here I was entertained by Party Boy. I don't know who that is. That's the thing. I am a casual Jackass fan. I am not a casual wrestling fan. But Party Boy's over with me.
There you go.
Chris Pontius, man. The legendary Chris Pontius, a.k.a.
man.
Party Boy, stripping down to his underoos and pretty much grinding on Sami Zayn is going to be forever in WWE fans' hearts.
He is the Jonathan Taylor Thomas of the new millennium.
Oh boy,
that's a deep cut, guys.
Oh man.
Now let me get us back on track now. Let's get back on track. Let's put the pants back on and let's go to our triple threat match. Alpha Academy, RK Bro, and the Street Profits. Fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Way to start off the night, right?
Yeah.
So that was a great match to start out night number 2. You got Randy Orton, you got Riddle, you got the Street Profits. It was, to me, one of the best matches of the night. Everybody showed up. It was acrobatic. It was everything that you wanted to see. They had big moves, great spots. What impressed me the most, I loved when Riddle hit that springboard RKO.
Oh yes. Oh,
to me, that was epic, and then it was followed up by RKO by Randy Orton. To me, this match was top notch. It didn't disappoint at all. I don't know how you guys feel, but I thought it was one of the best matches tonight.
Mikey?
Couldn't agree more. I mean, here, you want to start WrestleMania off with a babyface win again, just to go back to yesterday. A babyface win usually opens up WrestleMania. If it's from a big star, that's even better. You had one of the, top 10 of all time, Randy Orton. I really enjoyed the match. 6 guys who really, you could tell, enjoy working with each other, and that's always fun. 6 pros. I could watch that match every day of the week with those 6 guys. It just, what a wonderful spectacle of a match. Again, not a lot of criticism tonight, at least not for what we would talk about. I have a couple things coming up, but this was a feel-good match. This was let's get this crowd on their feet, and I like the fact they're keeping RK Bro together. I don't understand what is the rush to break them up.
There shouldn't be. They're a national treasure, and they should be acknowledged as such.
I agree.
I think the time to break them up, and I'm not for breaking them up, but to me, when Riddle finally wins a big match, that's when you break them up. You don't break them up now. It doesn't make any sense. You break them up when Randy's like, yeah, now I'm gonna take your title.
Yeah.
That is when you break them up. And to be honest with you, there's really no money in a Randy Orton heel run right now. Let people want to cheer Randy Orton. Let people cheer Randy Orton.
You can't do nothing wrong.
He deserves it.
That's true. I think when that breakup happens, Randy doesn't turn heel. I think Riddle turns heel, and I think it'll be more towards the middle of the summer, going into SummerSlam. I think that's when that's going to happen. Riddle turns heel. He turns his back on Randy, and they'll have a big epic match at SummerSlam.
Man. That's a call out right there, man.
Just a guess.
Yeah, man. That's on record now. It's on record. So we'll see what SummerSlam has to bring. Let's go to the women's tag team match. The Fatal 4-Way. Overall, I'm going to say I'm not totally disappointed in this match. I think it was a good match. I think there's some great spots here. I'm still a fan of the Queens of Heart and Spades. I think that was a great pairing, and they should do more with them. Yeah. Overall, again, I think it was a great match. But we had the right people in this match to hide some of the not so great wrestling, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Now, I absolutely agree with you. They had the perfect personnel there tonight. You had some experience mixed with a little bit of inexperience, and it all kind of worked out. There were small botches, right, which we saw, but nothing major to make you go like, oh man, this sucks. To me, I'll start out by saying Sasha Banks looked great as always. Shout out to Sasha. Just coming to the ring alone, you look great, Sasha.
Not getting no brownie points now.
But no, honestly, overall good match. I think the women brought it tonight. I think they had an opportunity to look at some of the women who competed yesterday, and they kind of wanted to take it up a notch. I love the suplex off the top rope. That was good. I wish it was more synchronized. That's the only thing that sucked about it. But it was still a good moment, but I wish it was more synchronized. And I love that kind of rolling X Factor bomb that Naomi and Sasha did. I thought that was
fantastic.
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
It was a great move. So to me, that was kind of the move of the night. And I like what they brought. Like I said, it wasn't the worst match, wasn't the best, but they did have enough talent. I do agree with you, Steve, to kind of cloak the inexperienced individuals in the ring. But I still give it a thumbs up as a match.
I love how you said cloak, bro. I like that. I like how you use that terminology for this particular match, because that's exactly what happened in my opinion. Mikey, how you feel about this match, bro?
It was what it was. Again, all 6 of those, or all 8, I'm sorry, all 8 of those women deserve to be on the card. I would prefer this over a like Mae Young Battle Royal.
Yep.
I would rather have just a good match with we're working hard, and although I do like Natalya and Shayna Baszler, I think Shayna Baszler should be working towards wrestling Bianca Belair. I think Shayna Baszler's money solo act, but until the draft comes, keep them together. Why not? I have a hunch that this feud isn't over yet with them. I do think, but here and again, it was what it was. I think that those cluster matches are hard, and especially when it's not their particular style. There wasn't a ton of high flyers in the match to begin with, so it's always really hard. But I thought they worked their ass off, and that's all I care about at the end of the day is that they take it. It wasn't clumsy. I just thought it was okay. I understand that those matches have to be on the card, and it's just a part of WrestleMania lore is getting a lot of people on the card, and I agree with it. But I could have did without it, but I'm not mad. If that makes sense, I'm not mad at it, but I could have did without it. It is what it is. But I'm just glad that a lot of my favorites were in that match. I just I was kind of whatever with it. I have to be honest. I went to the bathroom and I just was okay with it. I have to be honest. I didn't watch it very diligently, so I'll take your guys' word for it. But
no, you're not
very casual right there, huh?
I was a casual fan with that one. Yeah, no, and it's not a diss to them because I really enjoy a lot of those workers in that match. I like the majority of them, actually. I just wasn't really into it. Again, multi-people matches are what they are for me.
Yeah, it's one of those matches where you have some people that you really like that work and you want to see them, but then it's mixed in with some people you're kind of like about. So you don't know if you're going to sit by and watch it or not. So I totally agree with what he's saying. The match was okay for me. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't terrible. Like I said, it had moments that was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then they did have some botches where it's like, but all in all, I do agree with the WWE deciding to let Sasha and Naomi be the champions. I do agree with that. To me, that's a good call because they're two very, very talented individuals, and I think that they can actually bring a spark to the tag team division.
Let's take it to Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland.
Why? That's all I can say.
Mike?
Why?
Only in professional wrestling could you almost kill somebody and be rewarded. It's unbelievable. I hated it. The match was good. They worked hard. I was beside myself with the outcome.
Yeah.
Just again, I don't know. I don't know what we saw. I don't know what we saw.
So the only thing I can think of is maybe they allow it to happen that way to hopefully build up to something else, or maybe build up to this ongoing feud until Big E comes back, and that's like a shocker at some pay-per-view or on some Monday night or something like that. But if that doesn't happen, then this was just a waste of time. Honestly, it wasn't a long match. It almost felt like you were just filling in some pay-per-view time. Like, hey, we just need to kill 10 minutes, and you didn't know how to kill 10 minutes. So you're like, hey, let's just throw this match. It makes sense because Big E broke his neck. Yeah. And I wasn't a fan of it. I think they wasted time with it. To me, this was the only damper of the night, to be honest. And it wasn't the worst thing that happened, but it's like I could have done without it.
Honestly. This was bothersome. You know why this was bothersome, bro?
Go ahead.
Because this could have been our Damian and Finn match that led to our Edge and AJ match.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And here's the thing. I guess and here, like I said, as somebody who's done this, on the lowest level possible, I understand that injuries happen.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen more careless activity.
True. Let's move on. Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. Shout out Pat, man.
Hey, yeah, shout out Pat, man. And
Pat killed it.
No, he really did. He shocked me. You can actually tell that Pat has been putting his best foot forward in training, right?
Mm-hmm.
I loved how he hit the backflip and landed on his feet off the top
God.
rope. And then he just leaped to the top rope to hit that suplex, showing that he's literally taking wrestling serious. I think this had a pretty much good emotions, and it was kind of fluid from start to finish. Mr. McMahon at the end,
jacked.
That was exciting. Still jacked. He's
jacked.
The guy's 76 years old, and he still looks like he can take on a 25-year-old guy. And Austin coming in at the end, the legendary Stone Cold versus Mr. McMahon feud continues to live till this day. I thought it was all in all a pretty good match, right? You got a experienced wrestler with a kind of up and coming wrestler, but he held his own. But it was also entertaining. So I definitely enjoyed this match.
Mikey, you know how I feel about Austin Theory. I think the kid is dynamite. He is a stick of dynamite. I'm just waiting on this kid to blow up even bigger than what he already is. All day, Mikey. All day.
A-Town down, right? I mean, here's the way I look at it. Celebrities 3-0 this weekend. Well, 3-1 if you count the Vince McMahon match, which I okay. But and Vince looked great, and obviously this is some wish fulfillment shit with Pat. I'm sorry, my language. Excuse my language. Wish fulfillment stuff with Pat McAfee. All in all, though, I think we have to give more respect to NFL players because they're fantastic athletes, and Pat McAfee is a freaking fantastic athlete.
Yeah, he is.
I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed Mr. McMahon. Kind of telegraphed the Austin thing a little bit, but that's the thing about WWE though. But WWE sometimes the easy answer is the right answer, and
True.
and I really enjoyed it. I found myself smiling. Pat McAfee can go. I prefer him as an announcer, obviously, but if they do this once a year, once every other year, I'm cool with it. I think Austin Theory will main event at WrestleMania in the next 5 or 6 years. Mark that down. Not this incarnation of Austin Theory, but I think there's a level to go up there. But it's obvious Vince sees something. I mean, he's he's been earmarked. Yes,
he's our next Seth Rollins.
That's a comparison, I think, and I really think that did Vince have to insert himself into a match with Pat McAfee? Probably not at all. but at the same time, though, what fantastic heat, and again, he might never. It's somebody said this to me. Shout out to Noon and my guy watching the pay-per-view with me. He said, this is a morbid thought, but how many more of these really have? Like the fact that he could still kind of fumble himself through a match. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with Vince McMahon because there will never be another Vince McMahon.
No
we should be cherishing him and enjoying him while we have him. So for all you wrestling purists out there, national treasure, the greatest promoter of all time. For all you marks that live in your parents' basement, that guy is the reason why you freaking like professional wrestling. Sports entertainment, just shut your mouth and pay homage to the man. And Vince, you can cut that check anytime you want, babe. I'm ready.
There you go, man. There you go.
It was exciting to see Vince hop back in the ring, no matter how old he is. It was like how he always does things with WrestleMania, right? Expect the unexpected. We saw the match. We seen Pat go over. It was great. We didn't necessarily expect Vince to get in the ring and actually have a match, even though you can call it a match or not call it a match, but it was a match. And to see him hop
the
in
bell
there,
rung, bro.
it's a match. But yeah, and the referee was there. So to have Vince hopping in, it was another moment of WrestleMania, which was awesome. And then to have Stone Cold wall it up, I think they played that well tonight.
Definitely. Again, another great WrestleMania moment. A great WrestleMania moment. Let's take it home. Mikey, the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Did it live up to the hype?
In a word, no. I,
Honesty.
yeah, no. Here, listen.
Love
I don't know where it ranks in their feud or of matches. You know, and again, I want to be very careful when I say this because Roman Reigns is the top guy in the industry right now. Brock Lesnar is probably the second. Like, this is the right match, even though we kind of are sick of it already. But I also I would have preferred them not to do the usual spamming of their finishers. I feel like I thought we were going to see an old school wrestling match tonight. And we didn't get that. We got what you get from these guys. This is what they do. This is their brand. We shouldn't be surprised anymore. The right guy won. The outcome was what I expected. The match, they didn't belabor the fact they got in and got out probably I think 10 minutes. I don't know. The way I look at it is this is the story we're telling. I just wanted a little something different. You know, it is what it is with these two. I guess this is what they choose to do. I just it doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. It was just what it was. I expected more, and I'm okay with it, I guess. But I don't know. I just certainly wasn't the most stupendous main event to WrestleMania. Unification match. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the two belts, but overall the match was what it was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. I'm not gonna type in all caps on Twitter or anything. This sucks, but I just
Ooh. What's up, B? What do you think, man?
Man, I have to agree. Not the worst match ever, not the best. They kind of did what they did. I didn't mind the match, but what I would have liked to see was if they were going to have a great wrestling match, I would have liked to see more of a brawl. Not 30 Superman punches, 40 spears, a couple F5s. I would have liked to see a brawl. I would have liked to see them tear up the entire arena tonight and then decide who the champion is after that. To me, that's what two guys of their statues deserve, is to just tear up everything, to go toe to toe, kind of no holds barred and let it all hang out. But, to Mike's point, this is kind of what they do. You get these guys in the match, you're going to see like 10 F5s, 48 spears, and that's cool. And some of the kids like that. But to me, I wasn't overly impressed, but I wasn't super disappointed. I did think that the call for Roman to win was the right call because this win means more for Roman's career than it would for Brock. Brock's had like maybe 3 or 4 runs with the WWE. So him winning tonight absolutely means nothing because at the end of the day, he's still an NCAA champion. He's a UFC champion. He's been a WWE champion. So he solidified in so many different arenas that tonight doesn't matter for him. But to continue to have Roman on that rise that he's on and to extend to the next level, this was needed for him. But it would be interesting to see what they're going to do going forward. Because clearly to me, Brock is not going to be someone who should still be in the picture. They have to create somebody else that can compete with Roman to keep it interesting for us as fans.
Well, you made a very good comment right there. They've got to get someone interesting to keep it interesting, right? I got a couple thoughts about this match. One, I agree with you both. We got nothing but a finisher fest. And anybody that knows me, and me and Josh talked about this before offline, watching like matches in New Japan where you see a finisher happen, well, someone's finisher happen 13 times in one match and 15 pin attempts, all the near finishes, near misses, right? Or false finishes. So I think again, you got a lot of that in this match, which again is telling. This is kind of what you got. Like we said, this is kind of what they do. Definitely would have liked to see more of an actual wrestling match in this sense, but when I saw the gloves come off, I thought we were gonna get nothing but a brawl, but that's not necessarily what we got. I don't think this was the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. I think it may be the biggest in the sense of I feel something's going to happen to this title, because if you guys were listening, Michael Cole made a comment and about the title, about it being the longest reigning SmackDown, and he stopped himself. And then I think he like kind of said like champion, like kind of like blankly put champion. So I think they're gonna do something with this title to unify it. I think we're gonna maybe possibly get a new belt. Reigns has his own title, just like The Rock, just like Stone Cold. I think maybe there's another title coming, just like when what WrestleMania was it where we got The Rock's change to the actual WWE belt, right? We might be getting a different change in a different pathway, but overall, I think this is just maybe a 6 or a 7 on the scale.
Yeah, I agree. Not a bad match. I wouldn't say it was trash, but it wasn't the greatest WrestleMania match ever. We've seen great WrestleMania Mania matches, and this wasn't one of them. But also, they said the same thing about Orton and Edge a couple years ago, and it was a good match, but it wasn't the greatest ever. So a lot of that is marketing, but I wasn't overly disappointed. It was kind of what I expected out of these two guys. And honestly, I didn't even need to see this be the main event. I could have saw something else be the main event over this, because this is exactly what I thought I was going to get. So I would have liked to end it with something else. But overall, through the whole night, fairly good night for night 2. And I liked it more than night 1. And I will say, I know we touched on AJ and Edge a little bit, but I did want to throw this out about AJ and Edge's match. They had the best wrestling match of the night.
Hands down.
There's a lot of technical wrestling in there. We know AJ's phenomenal. I'm going to go out and say this. I don't know if you guys would agree with me. AJ is the best in-ring performer since Shawn Michaels. And I'll say that. And I love Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time because he can do it all. But to me, next to him, if you want to say 1 and 2 or 1A and 1B, it's going to be AJ Styles. He can do it all. There's nothing AJ can't do. And I would like to see him be pushed back up to the higher level on the card, because, he goes from being at the top of the card to mid-level. I think he has that skill set that you should always keep him on the top of the card, because he can work with anybody and make people look good. So
I think that's why they have him in that area, because he can do that with anybody.
Yeah, you might be right. He can work with anybody. I think, okay, if you break it down like that, that makes sense, because he can work with mid-tier people and higher tier people. But it would be interesting. I would like to see him more in championship matches that matter for the Universal or the WWE Championship, because you got AJ Styles, and you have so many years not having him that you should just maximize the time that you have with him, still being able to be as athletic and charismatic as he can be.
Mikey, how you feel about that?
There was a lot said there. First off, the main event was very mid, to steal a phrase. It was a ham sandwich. Felt good, tastes good. Not going to break an appointment. I'll never watch that match ever again. And I'm being honest with you, I will never watch that match again. And it's fine. What wasn't bad, but to me, a WrestleMania main event that's a unification bout, you should probably want to watch that match again. I've watched the Cody match 3 times already.
True.
It was that good. As far as AJ Styles being the best wrestler since Shawn Michaels, there's a guy by the name of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, that I think has a big thing to say about that, but I think that's a debate for a different day.
He's nice as well.
I just look at it like this. WrestleMania this week ended one thing that I really enjoyed. and that is it got me excited to watch WWE as a product, something I was not excited about going into this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They really did enough to make me very excited for Monday Night Raw tomorrow and talk about it, hopefully, on a podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
that's coming, sir.
We call that a segue, Steven.
You know it. You know it. You know it. Now, I
love
love it, man. Now let me go ahead and jam this down. B, you got any last minute thoughts?
Now, like I said, great night. I agree with Mike. This has me ready to actually watch a Monday Night Raw. Normally, I don't care to because I'm like the product has kind of been iffy. But after this weekend, I'm definitely going to tune in tomorrow.
Look at that, Mikey.
Yes, sir.
Last minute thoughts.
I just can't wait to see Cody Rhodes with a mic in his hand tomorrow in front of a live WWE crowd. I think it's going to be, as the kids say, do the kids still say lit? Is lit still the thing?
That's
I think it's still. I think we got another year with it.
Okay.
You probably got another 6 months.
I was going to say it was on fleek, but I went with the safe route. Boy, no, good show, good weekend. I'm excited. Yay, professional wrestling, sports entertainment. Yeah, man. Hashtag backspear. That's it.
You know it. You know it. That being said, let's go ahead and close it out. Again, if you please like and subscribe. We'll have another pod to kind of talk about Raw and some more future Loose Change episodes. Again, please like and subscribe if you want to hear more from the Casual Wrestler team. Until then, we'll see you in the next one.